Hello everyone, how you doing? It's Bill with the Voniverse. Hope you're all doing well. This video is going to be my top 20 gets of 2018. So I don't want to say favorite finds of the year, but I guess just 20 albums that I got this year that I'd probably rank as my favorite or most happy to get this year. Now some of these are going to be, some of these were gifts, some of these I purchased online, whether it's eBay or Discogs or whatnot. Some of these are prize winnings, and some of these are just finds out in the wild. So I kind of have them in the order, but I don't want to consider these like an absolute order. So I'm just going to run down these. I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible because it is 20 records. So I might go a little bit quicker. So number 20. So Genesis 3 Sides Live. I put this on here because this is the UK version. So the fourth side of this is additional live tracks, which in the US version the fourth side is studio tracks. So this was a great find when I was in Charlotte, North Carolina in the summer, in June, in an antique mall. I was really happy to find this because you just don't see this UK copy around here. So pick this up because of that fourth side that has the additional live tracks, which I'm a big fan of. So that's number 20. Number 19, this is Tears for Fears, The Hurting. This is their debut album, and this is a UK press of this album, and I was so happy to find this. I think this was, if I'm remembering correctly, I think this was an eBay find, and I got it for relatively cheap. Great album. Tears for Fears, an 80s band. Well, they got big in the 80s, I should say. They still tour today. But songs like Mad World, Pale Shelter, the title track, The Hurting, Change. Just a fantastic album all around, and happy to get an original UK press of this. Number 18, McCoy Tyner, Enlightenment. This was the first album that I bought because of a Vinyl Community YouTube video. So Teddy at Eat Sleep Vinyl, I had been watching his channel for a little while, and he talked about this album, and I knew right then and there that I needed to get it. I found it and absolutely love this album. McCoy Tyner, of course, is the great pianist. He is well known for being part of the John Coltrane Quartet. So fabulous album, and was really happy to pick this one up. Number 17, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, Axis Bold as Love. So this I picked up with my winnings from DJ Hyning's 100 subscribers contest. Tim held the contest. I was the winner. I forget what the winnings were. Maybe $30 PayPal or Amazon, and I think it was Amazon. Now that I'm thinking about it, I put that towards this, and this is a great. First of all, it's a great album, as most of you know. But the quality of this reissue put out by Hendrix's family is just incredible. Really great quality. The packaging is very nice. They just did a great job with it, and I was so happy to get this. So what are we on? Number 16. Walter Carlos, Sonic Seasonings. Um, so Black Friday, I went to a record show local to me in Oaks, Pennsylvania, and had a good day that day. And this was one of my finds that day. So Walter Carlos is known for like electronic, maybe experimental music. Famous for Switched on Bach, and famous for soundtrack work like A Clockwork Orange and Tron. This was one high on my want list for a long time, and I was happy to find it at that show for very cheap. I believe it was $4. And it's great. So it's a double album, and each side is one of the seasons. So spring, summer, fall, winter, and it's great. Great listen there. Okay, number 15. El Chico by Chico Hamilton. This was a great find. I had seen this a couple times in the VC. I think it was Local Bandography. Dave on Local Bandography had shown this at some point, and really piqued my interest with it. And this album is fabulous. Really, really great. I'm so happy I picked this one up. It's basically a blind buy. Never heard it before. And I can't recommend this album enough. It's really, really great. So that was number 15. Number 14. Going back to that record show on Black Friday. This is an album by Finch, Glory of the Inner Force. This was another album that was recommended by a VC member, Dan at Dots and Loops. Had talked about this album, and I loved it. So when I found it at the show, I couldn't believe it. Never ever saw anything by Finch before. Wasn't even familiar with the band, and this is great. This is great prog rock. When I talked about this album before, I said it was a good combination of Yes and Focus. So if you kind of merge those two bands together, this is what the result is. Not sure if that's a good analogy or representation for that, but really great stuff. If you're into prog, I recommend this. Okay, number 13, right? Number 13, Rooster Blues by Lightnin' Slim. So this was another contest prize. Jonathan, the Cheap and Cheerful record collector, had a contest. I can't remember at the time what it was for, maybe 250 subscribers or something like that. Again, I was the winner. He gave me the prize, which was again an Amazon card, and with the winnings I thought I would buy something that Jonathan had recommended previously. This was one of those albums, and I couldn't be happier with this album. It is so good. Rooster Blues by Lightning Slim. This is a Wax Time reissue, but it is great. Really, really enjoy this record. Okay, number 12. This is a very recent get for me, and it was a gift, again, by Tim at DJ High Noon. And it is Pink Floyd Atom Heart Mother. I just spun this earlier this morning, and it is... I mean, I already knew the record, but the quality of this pressing is just really, really great. It sounded beautiful. So Tim, thank you once again for sending this my way. So good. I'm thinking about doing a Pink Floyd rankings video in the coming year at some point, and it was good to give this a listen on vinyl, because I think this may have jumped up in my list in my head currently. Awesome Pink Floyd album. Alright, that was number 12. Number 11. I was so happy to pick this up. This is the soundtrack to Planet of the Apes. And Jerry Goldsmith does the arrangements and conducting on this. It's on the Project 3 label. The sound quality of this album is second to none. Just awesome. And the music is great. I'm a big fan of Planet of the Apes, the original series of movies, especially the very first one, which the soundtrack comes from. So happy to find this year. It's in practically perfect condition. Other than a corner ding right there, it was pretty much mint, practically. I'm not sure it was ever played. So, absolutely love this one. Number 10, sticking with soundtracks. This was a great one that I found this year. Classic album, the movie Alfie. This is the original music from the score. It's Sonny Rollins with orchestra conducted by Oliver Nelson. It's on the Impulse label. This is not a first press, but it is an early pressing. The first press has Michael Caine's picture here in red, just like everything else here. But this soundtrack is phenomenal. Love the music. I would say for any jazz collector or someone starting to get into jazz, this is an essential album. Really accessible, just great stuff. And I was happy to find it this year. Okay, number 9. Sticking with jazz. John Coltrane, Both Directions at Once, The Lost Album. So this came out earlier this year. This album, just like it says, is the Lost Album by John Coltrane. So Coltrane did some sessions. They kind of got shelved or lost. And were basically unearthed this year and put out on this album. And it is really excellent. Those sessions took place in 1963 and were shelved or lost, never heard from again until this album came out. The following day, after they were working on these sessions, Coltrane recorded the John Coltrane and Johnny Hartman album with the jazz crooner Johnny Hartman, which is another great album that I picked up this year. But it was so great to get a new John Coltrane release, however many years after his death. This was great. So that's coming in at number 9. Okay, number 8. This was another gift, vclt, and it is In a Silent Way by Miles Davis. Steve Carlson, everyone knows Steve, had sent this my way earlier this year. Had been looking for a copy of this and could never find one in the wild. So the album cover's a little weathered, you see the ring wear there, but this plays excellent. There's 2 clicks at the end of side 1, but other than that, it's near perfect. There is the label. So good. Thanks, Steve, for sending that my way. Okay, number 7 is another gift, another VCLT. And this one was from Jeff Kempen earlier this year. And this is Buddy Guy, First Time I Met the Blues, 1958 to 1963 recordings. I had never heard this before, wasn't familiar with Buddy Guy. I don't have much blues in my collection. I showed Lightning Slim before, but other than that, this and maybe 3 or 4 more albums, that's pretty much my blues collection. So Jeff sent me this, and I was blown away with how great this album is. Definitely recommend this to anyone, whether you're into blues or not. Great album. So thank you, Jeff, for sending this my way. This was a great release. Okay, number 6. Michael Nesmith and the First National Band Redux, live at the Troubadour. So this came out this year. Michael Nesmith reformed his First National Band. So he reformed the First National Band and called it the First National Band Redux. He did some dates early in 2018. They recorded it at the Troubadour in LA and put out this album, and this album is excellent. If you like Michael Nesmith and the First National Band, or a fan of Michael Nesmith, this is great. The quality of this recording is really great. I wasn't sure what to expect when I first listened to this, but the sound is really great. I was kind of blown away at how good it sounds. This focuses mostly on pardon me, the 3 albums the First National Band released in early 1970, 1971. Magnetic South, Blue Salute, and Nevada Fighter. And of course there's a couple other tracks on there, a couple other Nesmith tracks, a couple Monkey tracks, and a couple Nesmith solo releases. But the quality of this recording is really great. I did a vinyl reveal on this album. The video's on my channel if you want to go check out some sound samples of this album. Really great. Definitely recommend this one. And that came in at number 6. So number 5 is an album I haven't shown yet because I just got it a couple days ago, and it is a Japanese pressing of Mal 2. This is Mal Waldron, the great pianist, and wow, what a find this is. Now it is a reissue. The original recording, I think, took place in 1957, and this is 1976 reissue. And just look at the lineup on this album. So on piano you have, of course, Mal Waldron, and then saxophone you have Jackie McLean on alto sax, Sahib Shihab on alto and baritone sax, and then John Coltrane on tenor saxophone. Crazy good. On trumpet you have Idris Suleiman and Bill Hardman on trumpet, and then rounding things out you have on bass Julian Eul, don't know how to pronounce that, Eul, and then on drums you have Art Taylor and Ed Thigpen. So this is on the Prestige label. So happy to have this, and it is it's awesome, really great, and it just made it in time to be in my top 20 of the year. Really love this and recommend it, highly recommend it. So number 4, another recent gift, and again it's from Jeff Kempen. He for Christmas, he sent me Bitches Brew by Miles Davis. And this was pretty much at the top of my want list. I've been looking and searching high and low for it in the wild. It never ever turns up. But that doesn't matter because Jeff sent me a brand new copy. And again, this is amazing. This is a music on vinyl release, and they did a great job with it. Sounds phenomenal. The packaging is very, very nice, and I'm very, very excited to have this in my collection now. So thanks again, Jeff Kempen, for that. Number 3. So another contest I won was Dolph Van Dale, and he gave me, again, prize money, and I went and picked off another one of my grails, which was this, Frank Zappa, Hot Rats. This year I've really expanded my knowledge and listening of Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention. And this album is at the top of the list for me. I just love this album. It sits at the top of his discography for me. So good. It's on the Bizarre Reprise label there. I think whether you like Frank Zappa or not, I think you would really enjoy this album. Really great stuff. Number 2. This was the ultimate of holy grails for me. This album is very, very hard to come by. You never see it in the U.S. I had to go to eBay and just be patient and wait, and it finally turned up. But this album is so hard to find that I called record stores, mostly jazz record stores throughout the country, to see if they had copies. They didn't, but this is the Max Roach Quartet Namo. So I got this a couple months back. I talked about it, showed it on my channel. Such a masterpiece, this song Namo. It's just, this album is just that one song, both sides. So it starts on side 1 and the song ends at the end of side 2. But this is just great. This is a promo release on RCA Victor. You have Cecil Bridgewater on trumpet, Billy Harper on tenor sax, Reggie Workman on bass, and then of course Max Roach on drums. And it's just amazing. I was so happy to finally get this record. This is another one that Teddy at Eat Sleep Vinyl had shown and talked about, that I knew I had to get my hands on at some point, and I'm so happy I did. Just brilliant recording right here. So that brings us to number 1, and this is very special to me. This was a gift, just a Christmas gift. Just got it last week. So we all know Robert Z. He was so generous to send me a Christmas present, and one of the things in there was this original master recordings of the Alan Parsons Project iRobot. So Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab put this out. It's an original master recording. And wow, I never heard one of these Mo-Fi releases before, and it is stunning. So this is at the top of my list. Just, I mean, for Robert to send something like this to me it's still mind-blowing to me. I mean, I received a lot of gifts this year, and that blows me away, the generosity of people in the VC. But for Robert to send an original master recording like this of a classic great album, I, Robot by the Alan Parsons Project, it's still unbelievable to me. And I did listen to this, and like I said, it's stunning, the sound quality. So I'll be looking to add more of these into my collection over 2019. I'm sold on Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab recordings. So that's my list. Those are my top, I don't know if I want to say favorite or not, but top gets of 2018. Thanks for sitting through this video. I know it's a little bit longer, and I tried to keep it as short as possible. So we're just about at the New Year. I want to wish everyone a happy New Year's. Be safe New Year's Eve, but have a good time. Don't drink and drive. That's a big thing with me. Just call a friend, call family, call an Uber. Just don't get behind the wheel if you've had too much to drink. But definitely have fun. And my best wishes to all of you for 2019. I hope we all make it a good year. This has been a great year for me, doing these videos on YouTube. Very out of character for someone like myself, but I've been doing it since the beginning of March. So I'm looking forward to continuing and doing more of this stuff. And I really thank everyone for all the support you've given me this year. I've made a lot of friends, and that is probably the most, the music's great, the records are great, but the people that I've met and made friends with, nothing compares to that for me. So I really appreciate all the support this year, and I wish you all well in 2019. So Happy New Year, and I guess I'll see you in the new year, unless I get another video out over the next couple days. So thanks everyone. I'll talk to you again soon. Be well.